What's going on, guys? So this is a big old sword. That is a blue Bandai logo, and this is the last Mastergrade Monday of Double October. Let's get to it. Alright, guys, so on this Double October Mastergrade Monday, we're going to take a look at the Pbandai 00 Ant Full Saber. Oh, why do they always have to cut off the things? But of course, this is the new Master Grade version of the Quanta Full Saber. Now, the old Quanta we got many years ago, which, if you want to go back and check out my old review of that with an actual Full Saber attached to it, check it out up here in the thingy. And I will reference that a little bit more because I'm going to skip a few things in this review. So go back and watch in that review to see those things. Anyways, you got Celestial Being, Mobile Suit, GNT, Quadruple O, FS. And you got nice explosions going on all around here. Probably some ELS type things. And a great shot of the Quanta right there with the brand new Full Saber attachment. And of course the good old Master Grade logo up there, covered by a light, because of course it is. And you have a new and blue Bandai logo. And according to a very quick search and a comment by Thomas Rice, that means it's in the Bandai Spirits kind of deal. Don't know exactly what that means. I guess it's some of the more high quality stuff they're going to do. Somebody will type it in the comments. So one way or the other, you'll find out what it is. But I noticed this is the first time, at least, I've seen that blue logo. It's not a knockoff, nothing like that. It is actually an official Bandai product. It's just a separate thing they're sort of doing. Speaking of which, it says Bandai Spirits 2018, so that's actually what it is. So this is considered to be in the Bandai Spirits line. Sure, maybe that's where the quote-unquote Pbandai part comes in. Because it's not exactly Pbandai. It's definitely a normal release over here. And you guys can hear stuff rattling around in the box still. And you come to the bottom, you got obligatory rear and front view right there with Full Saber looking all spiky. You've got antenna parts. I don't know what that means. And Double Quanti Full Saber. You've got GN Sword 4 Full Saber. That's cool. And you got all the stuff there. GN Launcher Mode, Full Saber Mode, Wrist Mode, Gun Mode, Blade Mode, Twin Edge, Saber Mode, Rifle Mode. Now, you know what? I do remember asking before where the GN 4, GN Sword 4 was. And I'm guessing the Full Saber is the GN Sword 4. Because this thing has the GN Sword 5. The other 00 had the GN Sword 3. That's where I got my 3.5. Either way, you got GN Launcher Mode. Yay for that. All the different modes of all the different stuff coming off of the Full Saber parts. That's actually pretty cool. Gun Mode, Blade Mode, Twin Edge. I think I was covering this already. Wrist. That's not part of the sword. Sword 4. You get Rifle Mode. Rifle Mode. And GN Katara Mode, which is something that we've seen on the 7 swords before. So, hey. Hold on, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you got, good lord, there's a lot of stuff in this one corner. Master Grade, Bandai Overnet, Gundam 00V, so it is from the side story. And you got 00 Quanta Full Saber, and you've got 00 Quanta Full Saber in bigger letters. Is it me or is that fuzzy? Or at least it's fuzzy on camera because of that soft green outline. Repeat of the box art, very looks cool. Yes, it very looks cool, guys. And blue Bandai logo again. And you've got GN Sword 5. Transformation Sword and Rifle Mode has been recreated. You got Sword Mode, Rifle Mode, Clear Lenses, GN Drive. GN Drives can be removed and individually displayed. That's true. And you got GN and GN Sword. I'm sorry, GN Shield and GN Sword Bits because things. GN Buster Sword because that's the thing. GN Buster Rifle because that's a thing. Buster means big. And then you got the obligatory shot of the completed thing next to all the runners of the non-completed thing. You've got figure, so you got seated and standing Setsuna, and you've got marchings. I know it says markings, it just looked like an H to me. And you got Polybag, which is a little guy with the toilet. You've got warnings over there, ages 15 and up. Hey, I'm in the middle of that. You got Bandai Spirits line right there, 5,500 yen! Actually, that's pretty close to that price. I think I paid 60 or 65 for it, I think, round about there, if that, from the good old Gundam Planets. And you've got illustration by Naochika Morishita, but it actually says Morishita Naochika. So, all the things. Of course, this is one of the more newer things, but hey, this person is still actually doing all my favorite box art, even though it's still upside down. New Quanta, still upside down. You guys really don't get it, do you? Those of you who keep asking, you still don't get it. So hey, let's go ahead and get to this thing. No build montage, though I think after Double October, build montages might make a return. We'll see. So, let's get to it. W Quanta Full Saber. Alright guys, much like the opening footage, here you have the full Saber all decked out in its full 00 Quanta-ness. And it's been a minute since I filmed a Mastergrade review. It's like, you guys really don't understand how much such stuff was filmed way ahead of time. So, this thing was pretty cool. Now, I kind of didn't want to actually do this thing in a full build. Why are you focusing on my finger? Part of me wanted to just go ahead and build the new full Saber parts and swap it onto my old Quanta. But given that there are some actual new parts on this, I did go ahead and build the whole thing. Plus, it gave me a chance to kind of increase my building skills over the previous time. Kind of how I've done with 00s in the past. Now, one thing that kind of sucks is that the full Saber is sort of providing a little bit of shade there for the Quanta. So, like, his face is getting covered up. That is one thing. This thing, regardless if it's supposed to be a sword, that is a massive, massive shield, at least on that side. Not to be confused with this massive shield on this side. Now, this thing does come with all the same normal marking stickers that you get all the way across it. And I wasn't intending on using all of them, but I did kind of anyways. So you get the stripies here on the center torso. You got them up there on the shoulder, you got them here on the leg, along with all the nice little warning stickers. Now, one thing I did not do is the dry transfers. I just didn't feel like fighting them, so I kind of left them off. Otherwise, I did pretty much all of the other markings that are supposed to go on this guy, including the big Celestial Being logo that stands out as a sticker very, very much. Kind of a thing you can't really get around. I do like the little GN stickers there, little GN stickers there. And actually, if you open this guy up and get to the GN drive inside, you can see a cool new, I say new, I don't know if it actually is, but new kind of metallic-y sticker that looks like it's almost glowing. And I didn't intend on using the LEDs for this, so I went ahead and used the more solid stickers instead of the clear ones for this guy, and then inside here as well, because you do get a standard GN drive that is inside. This one tends to come apart a little too easily with all of the backpack attachments. It's snug, I will say that. It's in fact so snug it doesn't want to come out. It's fairly well stuck. So I'm just going to leave it in there. But if you felt like putting the LEDs in there, you can. The chest will still light up, but the GN drives on the back won't. And since the one on the back is meant to quote-unquote light this one, there's not really any hope there. Now, new stuff real quick. You do get all new backpack section here, along with this new cool GN drive sticking out the back. That's actually pretty neat. You get this all new arm assembly coming out here, all of this, and of course the full Saber GN sword, 4 parts, all of that stuff. And for the most part, what we're going to do is spend our time looking at that. But real quick, we do have another new part. It is this new antenna or V-fin that is all nice, new, and sharp. That's not trimmed down. That's nothing. That's all new mold. I do appreciate that. It's actually very, very cool. I like that. So I'm going to skip the Buster Sword parts and all the things like that. Leave all those off because for the most part we're going to focus on just the big guy here, and we'll also be doing some comparisons here in a bit after I get the main weapon talked about. Now you do get hinges and stuff to help this guy move around, so it does rotate back here, does rotate up here, and I thought I rotated there, but it does not. But it does have a swivel up and down to clear the shoulder. And it does have a little bit of a hingey hinge up there. And if you want, even though it's a tight fit, you can rotate it like so. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and remove it from the shoulder peg. And we'll set the Quanta itself back here. Oh, I will say one word of warning, because I had this guy on the side skirt. Guys, if you're going to use these side skirts at all, whether it's up or down for this, glue them in place permanently, because they will continue to pop off. This one, not so much yet, because it is brand new. My old one, which is right over here waiting to be compared to, they constantly pop off with little to no effort. So alright, so let's check out the big boy and the big add-on for this kit, and it is the GN Sword 4. You can tell it's a 4 because weapons. I guess because it has 4 blades. I guess that's it. So this is its standard shoulder-mounted version, whatever that technically is. It just stores this way. Does have plenty of translucent bits. All of this right here, nice sandwich pieces with a little center cap. One thing I did do, it might help to see it right through there, I did take my chrome marker to the inner edge of this blue part right here before putting it on, and you can see it does catch the light nicely. I think that does help. Can't really do it too many other places, if we're honest, but looks pretty neat. Actually, anywhere that you can add a little bit of chrome to help things shine, please go ahead and do it. It definitely helps. This thing does come with many white stripe stickers to go over everything, which is an incredibly annoying thing, especially these right here. The ones going around the little GN knives are not that bad. Speaking of which, I'm going to go ahead and pull these guys off. So do all that number. You do get this sticker right here, and I say it is a sticker. I really wish it had been more than one, so it lays down up here, and you have to kind of position it as good as you can. I don't believe this one is that great, but hey, it works. The other side is a little bit cleaner. Then you got a few more of these stickers. You get a matching big Celestial Being logo right there, and a little warning there. So this is actually pretty cool. So this is basically like broken down for the most part. You can break it down just one more little step and pull that part off. So you get this very basic sword bit. Now one thing you can do with this, it's fun. You can pull out this guy right here, this little handle. Insert it right in there, and that's actually the proper way. Now it can go either direction, and you can see here that the hole in the handle is tilted. That is to match up to the hand. So this is this little GN Qatar thingy, very similar to how the Seven Swords does. And you just plug it into his hand the best you can. Mind you, it's a very blind plug. And that is the major downfall of most of these weapons for these guys. And you can hold it at a slight angle, or kind of straightish like that. Just do what you can to line it up. It's actually pretty neat. I like the weapon. I guess a Qatar is a sword with a sideways handle. I don't know the actual definition of Qatar, but that's what it is. Oh, and he's going to start having heavy shield syndrome because he's been with both most of his life. He's going to start falling over now. Oh, these want to come off the screen. There. And just for a quick comparison, there it is with the one from the Seven Swords. You can tell this is that more bluish tone, obviously far more green. I actually dig it when they go with a more green than a lightish blue, but you can see the obvious similarities. Even the handle, fairly similar. So, I guess I take some of the lessons they learn from other things. Of course, Seven Swords is from a side story as well. So, this thing's pretty cool. It does have mounts on 3 different edges for the GN knives. Now, you can do this a couple different ways. You can attach them. Hold on, which way am I looking at it? Okay, so the way that it should go. Oh, wait. Sorry. I'm looking at this funny. Take this part, put it back on, and now you've got the holes that we had before. So these little nubs go in there, you put the clear part there, and you line everybody back up. So yay for that. Now this actually does have another mode. It is the cannon mode, I guess it was, or buster mode, whatever. Oh, hey, don't act up. Cool thing is you take this and just angle that like so. and that becomes your pistol. It actually does have that. So all three of these have a pistol mode. You just put that in there. You've got a couple tabs, line them up with that handle, and there he is in like a kind of missile or buster mode. What is it called? GN launcher mode. I can't read. But actually, I think I could be wrong. Let me look here. Okay, yeah, so this actually, sorry, just double checking the box here, line that up, turn these this way. It makes sense. You're actually using the pistols. Duh. So it's a big beam attack mode is what it's going for here. Anchor that back like so. And there's one accessory that I left in the other room. It is the big clear stand that comes with everything. It's very much like a Tamashii effect stage. And you can hold this guy here, and then you use the claw to hold this up. Just imagine that's out here. I'll get it later for the review. But here is your GN launcher version. So you've got the triple cannons. Actually kind of similar to the GN Sword 3 does. And I assume big beamy stuff comes out of there. Ooh, I forgot to clean up those panel lines. Now the little guys can combine into like a dual dagger mode thingy. I keep saying thingy repeatedly. I'm going to keep saying it. And super simple. You just line them up like so. They tab together, and he holds it right there. Now these slots are actually fairly tight. It does take a little bit of working to actually get them in his hand. He can hold them, so just imagine that he is. Just do me that favor. Okay? Okay. Now, apparently, if you put this back this way and back on here like you do, you can get the GN, the Saber mode. You can go one side or the other. It's kind of like that, realistically, because of the way he's going to hold it. And you pull out the handle like so. You got the big handle right there. And it shows that you can do it one way or the other. Doesn't really matter. It's kind of your preference, whether you're going left-handed or right-handed. He's pretty much right-handed. So this is the way the box shows it. To do it this way, you can get the big tab there. You can definitely handle it, but it is a very, very hefty weapon. So much like all the other giant swords that sits on handles, just be careful with what you're doing. By the way, these are some fairly pointy parts for an actual Bandai product. So just be careful. But he does interfere with himself a little bit. That's why I usually like the other thing on the other side. This is another reason. Oh, hey, look, the wrist peg came out. That never happens. You can definitely use the stand to help you with holding this. Although he can technically hold it without extra backup. It's just heavy. So, like so. I think he actually has a harder time holding the GN Sword 5, especially when it's fully loaded in Buster mode. But for comparison on that length, it is actually longer at the handle than it is with the regular GN Sword 5 base without the Buster weapons. Come on, cooperate. And I guess he technically has a smaller version of the gun mode. If you pull this off like so, and you attach it like so, I guess. It's a really weird version, but you guess you're technically using that as a rifle? I don't know. I mean, you can hold it. I mean, it is what it is. It's a really strange version of a rifle, but, you know. Use your imagination, kids, I guess. I don't know. Alright, guys, just real quick. I forgot to mention the little clear green GN drive holder, if you ever want to display GN drives on their own. And I've got him back into regular suited mode, and I've got his GN sword kind of in its rifle mode. There's a reason for that, and it's because it's comparison time. Now, this is going to be hard to do because there's a whole lot of Gundam to work with here, so bring in the previous version. Come here, buddy. So my slightly custom 00 Quanta from before. If you went and watched the old video, you know. So ignore that the custom GN Sword 3.5 here. Oh, by the way, the ankles are very much like Exia ankles, and they will give out. If you don't know that this guy is mostly based off of Exia with some 00 flair to it, that's basically how it works. So very similar problem to Exia. But you can see here, this is the third-party kind of garage version of the full Saber. And there's a massive, massive size difference here, at least weapon-wise. And we'll turn here to show that off. Like, forget the details and stuff, because they're fairly similar. So, going, I guess, from the manga that they did, or maybe even the HG, probably maybe where they designed it from. So this is the old one we looked at a couple years ago, and this is, of course, the new guy. Huge size difference. There's probably a good inch extra length there. Not to mention the details and stuff are not here on the surface. You got some of them, but they're also making up quite a few of them. This plastic is also more like an ABS. You can see that it's also textured, so it's not the best or cleanest plastics. And if we take it off, which is easier said than done. Come on. Came off earlier. Okay, I'll just remove the whole thing from the shoulder. You can also see that the backpack part is different. I'm going to go ahead and remove the sword as well. Remove. I will say the connection for the swords are actually fairly tight, so that's good. Alright, so you can see the difference on the backpacks, whereas this one just adapted the original Quanta backpack. This one gave you a whole new one and an all-new arm. This one mirrored the arms, which I was fine with, actually. I kind of wish that this one did it too, but instead it's an all-new thing. So, it is what it is. So for now, I'll move these guys out of the way. There's not a whole lot of difference between the Gundams themselves. And that was the sound of a side skirt falling off. And once again, we'll look at the Sabers. This guy does fall off. See, this one uses just these super small pegs to attach. And if we're pulling these things off, which was the bottom one here, you can see a huge difference. You got the big gap there. This one is a deeper blue, which I appreciate, although it doesn't quite match. The handles, well, can't hold on to things. Handles are fairly different. This one has no tab for him to actually hold on to, so you just kind of put it in the hand. It's got some of the details. It's got some dots in there. That's pretty close. This almost looks like a Lego version. It's kind of funny. Though the green plastic is fairly similar, at least in color. So I'll give him credit there. This one has a nice molded bit here, though. This one doesn't transform in any way. Of course, this one does. That is one thing that sucks about this one that I've never really understood. I don't even remember how it all... There we go. So I'm going to pull these off at an angle. I'm trying to remember if this comes off. It's been so long I don't recall. I don't think it does. Or at least it doesn't come off for like Qatar mode or anything like that, but you can see the gaps there. And of course, you got the difference in the handles. So this one has a short handle with no things. Either that or it isn't coming out all the way. I think that's as far as it goes. Also, that handle's white. Significantly different length of handle. This one looks like a toy version. It's kind of funny. I do like that they at least molded in some panel lines. It's not quite this at all, but it's close. And like I said, you're not going to get the gun mode. You're not going to get anything out of this other than the sword mode. These things, I think technically can combine, sort of. Though I don't believe, yeah, hey, how about that? I don't believe I've ever showed that off, but hey, these can combine. That's pretty neat. I don't see any other way they can do anything. Yeah, these things feel so fake. It's been a couple years since I looked at them, but they are very, very fake. And the plastic feels so, in a word, third party. If you're used to third party Transformers, you would definitely know this feeling for sure. And you do have all these gaps and stuff, but there's no way to plug things on in a different manner. So, as far as I know, with the old instructions, which are long gone. I don't even remember what quote-unquote brand this was. I know I got it off of eBay. And actually, my buddy David has the same on his 00 Quanta as well. They did make an HG version, too, so that's pretty cool. But, I mean, in comparison, I've almost stuck the original part here. In comparison, there isn't a comparison. It's just, while this one was fun, for sure, because we had no other options, this is much more ridiculous. This has way more modes, way more stuff. Quality is, of course, better. Actually, the translucent plastics on this are pretty good. Like, they even have this as a single piece of green plastic that's sandwiched between two pieces here, whereas this is three pieces sandwiched around the centerpiece. And take your pick on which is slightly better. I kind of like the slightly more compact version here, if I'm honest. Just because it's a little bit easier. I don't like the fact that that peg wouldn't come out. That was kind of annoying when it did earlier. Now I have to try to peg that back on. This is where these third-party plastics get a little wonky. Like I said, I don't remember the brand or anything like that. I just know I bought it off of eBay. Now, one thing I do wish I could remake is my cool GN Sword 3.5 here, because it's actually a very cool adaptation of these weapons, and actually gives them way more holding capability. Everything else is going to be exactly the same because the base Quanta is exactly the same. Now, one thing the third-party version came with that the regular one does not, the cool GN ring thing, so you can actually get your full burst effect on, for the most part, or quantum burst effect. Something that Bandai has yet to give us. You still have the ability to sort of put this guy into full burst. You have all the little parts that come out and pop out and do things like that, but they've never given us the full ability to do it. Where the GN drive thingy comes out the front and, you know, grows some wings on it and stuff like that. They've never given us that, and even with this new version, still nothing. Oh, and I was reading up on it in the book. This thing, of course, was never in the series. Oh, hello, I went to VFin. But it was in a side story, and it actually only existed in a simulation that they were running to see what would happen if they gave the Quanta the GN Sword 4. And they sent it into the same battlefield conditions that it was sort of in the movie. And it, by itself, basically, was it 10 days or 10 hours, basically cleaned up the entire battlefield of ELS by itself. The extra the GN Sword 4, the full Saber parts, all that actually gave it such an advantage in the battlefield that it took on the entire L's and won on its own. At least in simulation, but of course they didn't actually make this for the movie. So, hey, it is what it is. Alright guys, so right before final thoughts, thought I'd show off the stand it comes with. Now, this is probably not really, well, I guess you could really use it for the actual Gundam itself if you want to. It does come with a standard crotch peg if you want to put it on that. I believe it's still in the box, and I'm not worried about it. But this is a normal kind of figurized stand. This is set up basically so that I could use the Buster Sword. So for the most part, what they want you to do is kind of prop this up however you need to, and then you rest the big heavy weapon on it. Or for instance, if it's in launcher mode, you can do it that way. Yeah, I should probably intercut this into the other part of the video, but I don't really care that much. So I'll show it off briefly here. Come on, cooperate. There it goes, okay. So if you wanted it in launcher mode, I realized I put it in there backwards, that's funny. Funny to me, at least. So if you're going to have him hold it like so. Oh yeah, there. I forgot the back half doesn't have to be on here. Put it in his hand somehow. Stress it somehow. And by the way, guys, I was trying to take thumbnails before I got to this point, and this rest peg kept popping out on me as I was manipulating it. So that's probably something you need to look out for whenever you're manipulating it with a very big, heavy weapon in its hand. It could be a problem for you. Now, he does hold this just fine for the most part. But what they want you to kind of do is this number with it resting. Well, you get the idea. It works better. It really does work better with the Buster Sword. And one thing they eliminated from this was the old stand that you just plugged into the handle of the Buster Sword. So, I guess it is what it is. Alright guys, so that's going to be it for this 00 Quanta Full Saber review. It's a cool kit. It's not without its issues. Like, this bottom one wants to fall off fairly often. Dealing with the weight is always going to be a problem with these huge 00 sworded weapons. You can still play with the original Buster Sword and Buster Rifle if you want, and it does give you the stand to sort of help support it. Just do with it as you may. The Quanta itself is always really good. The new full Saber parts are definitely better than the old third-party bits. And, you know, the fact that it's not a Pbandai release here in the States is always a good thing. So there's a lot more accessibility. The price is actually very good if you actually get it for about $60. Don't pay a premium if you haven't already. If you're going to light it up, you can definitely do that with the LED system you can usually get. The stickers, take them or leave them. It's up to you. I did them just because. So it's actually pretty good. I did have to really kind of wait till the last minute almost on this one because it didn't come in until October really actually started. So as you guys are seeing this, it is actually only a few days before the review comes out, unlike the rest of 00October, which was already done before October started or roundabout at the beginning of October. So it is what it is. I knew this was going to be a rush on this one, and considering it's the final Mastergrade Monday of the month, I'll take it. It's pretty cool. And this is one that actually Chris was considering buying and building and bringing me over to review, and I told him, nope, I'm doing this one, man. It is what it is. So, as the final purchase for 00October, I really do dig it. So, I suggest it. Definitely go get it if you want to, if you need to complete your 00 Crazy Side Story MG collection. If you don't have all the GNXs and stuff like that. So, guys, if you like this video, give it a big old thumbs up for the big old sword. And, of course, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, by all means, do it. We've gained a lot of people so far during 00October, which is pretty cool. And, of course, definitely pick up some 00October t-shirts, guys. All over there. Get them. Go get those 00October t-shirts. Get the classics. Get the new. It's cold now. Get the hoodie. All those things. Every little bit definitely helps. Along if you go check out the Patreon right down there. And you can be like John, Andy, Kolby, TheKrowSama, and now Thomas Rice. So I've had to update the list. I was missing out on a couple guys. So guys, I'll catch you on the next review. 00October is not over, but it's getting close. So I'll see you guys then. And remember, as always, to keep on building.